the last time I saw you, you were about this big. I guess time does fly. Now, I'm not as sharp as I used to be, so you have to forgive me, Claire.
I don't know you. Where's my mom?
Well, I have some bad news, sweetheart. You see, I don't know how to say this, but
What?
Well,
Is my mom okay?
I was just about done hanging the dish, and your mom was handing me some lemonade
What
when
happened?
Was an extremely good film. The gentleman that played the pervert,
The kidnapper.
he was extremely good. But the film fell apart for me at one point, filmmaker, when she found out that this guy had talked about the dad that was dead 3 years. That to me was the climax of the movie. That's when she runs away and says, "Heck with you," because she got it. She got even though he did a very good job of trying to justify and whatever, and I didn't understand at the end what the other car meant to her. Did that mean some other pervert's coming? Is this like a pervert club? That didn't seem realistic. The fact that when she caught him in the lie about the dad, that wasn't the climax of the movie, that didn't seem realistic either. So those two things, because the girl wasn't a dummy, she realized the way he shot it, he realized early on the reason he knew her name was Claire, and she never said something simple like, "What's my last name?" Nada. But the father thing, come on.
Yeah, I thought the film was pretty good. The cinematography was really nice, very crisp. Couple little minor sound things that caught my ear. I loved at the end when you weren't 100% convinced whether or not this guy was bad news or not. It left it a little bit open, like maybe he was a family member, not quite 100% sure, but it left it slightly undecided, even though Scott was saying she never should have gotten the girl.
Yeah, I also appreciate the cinematography and things like that. The casting was excellent. But I think they missed a really good opportunity with the acting, because it makes me think of a movie I saw years ago called Phone Booth. And like that, it was, a film where a guy was just in the phone booth the whole time. And the level of drama was so intense, you could have made a real work of art with that. The actors was there. I think that the director could have let him work it a little bit. And then also too, since the girl got in at the end, we should have been shocked, and that should have been the climax, because it should have been more of a play of, once she heard all that stuff, convince us of why she would stick around. So that was an opportunity for the guy who played the pervert to really do some really badass acting, because he's now like, well, I'm adult mind to child mind, how can I manipulate you? To scare the parents into really working with their kids at home, it's like, hey, this guy's good. And then like the other guy said, there's a lot of obvious things like the cell phone or whatever. The little girl should say, well, can we call somebody? And then he'd have an excuse for why he couldn't, but did not even think about that.
I thought it was pretty realistic. The guy obviously is a seasoned predator because he was extremely manipulative. He knew to remain calm at the same time so that she could eventually trust him, because he knew exactly what to say and he was calm. It's like he didn't exactly retract. It's like, oh my God, he's bad or whatever. But because of his demeanor and the way he carried on, she eventually second guessed herself, and that's what predators do.
Yeah.
They want to trick you and to make them believing them into second guessing themselves, and that's why she second guessed, even though there was blatant facts.
Yeah.
My dad died.
Yeah.
But then her mom was so late that she probably figured there must be truth to what he's saying. So I think they did a really good job prolonging the mother coming, because you weren't sure, like, okay, it could be the truth.
Yeah.
But then the mom showed up, so I thought it was good.
First, it was really great. It really pulled me in. And the acting was great, as many people have noted. But something that really popped out to me in this world that was created was the fact that this child who seems to be of an age where, she's social and she has friends and things like of that nature, she didn't have a cell phone. So I wasn't really sure what generation this was made for. For me, possibly like 20 years ago, like when I was in school, this definitely would have been relevant.
Yeah.
But in a time where we have kids who who at the age of 8 are already, on their iPhones, texting their friends.
Yeah.
For her to not have that, she was old enough to have a cell phone, and for her not to have that and to like be able to text her mom and ask her like, where are you? That I was like, this seemed a bit unrealistic. So I think what could have made the movie stand out a bit more was for her to have a cell phone and had text messages sent to her mom, and then for her not to respond for a really long time, which kind of plays into his story that she was in the hospital.
The late as
Exactly. Oh, and only to find out that she eventually, responded.
So I thought
So-
that the film was very well cast. The guy, forget what his name is, but he looked exactly like Onision, and it was like really creepy. Because if you know anything about Onision, you know what I'm talking about. And I really like all of the close-up shots on his sort of like dead, soulless shark eyes, where he's like, get in the car, just do it, right? So you can tell that he's a creep. But so I really like that. I like the interactions. I like the manipulation. What totally broke it for me was when she's all of a sudden just, I can't even remember what the motivation was. She's like, okay, I'm gonna get in your car now. Like,
I think he played into the fear of like, he said something about like, oh, I just saw like the fear in your mom's eyes, and I think that was what they were going for as the trigger to like, as like a tiny child who only has her mom left, like playing into that like primal emotion of like, I have no one else, I only have my mom. I think for me, like that's what I read that as.
I also think that it should have probably cut or ended when the van with Claire was driving away.
And
So
then
that
just
it-
not have the
and
mom
just
at all.
right, and just had a more ambiguous ending.
Interesting. Okay, last comment.